So Ascendance of the Bookworm is arguably one of the best isekai and also the most interesting because it's very unique what it does, especially when it comes to the main character and how the main character gets reincarnated. Because if you haven't seen this anime, the main character dies and like she was obsessed with books, but then when she gets reincarnated into somebody else's body, which is very interesting and unique because we really don't see that much in isekai, and it's kind of wild to think because it's like most isekai characters, they get reincarnated, not into somebody else's body. So basically what happens is the person's body she gets reincarnated in, the person was already dying, so her spirit basically just goes inside this body and now she's in this body. Even though trust me, there are consequences, because in this anime they show the consequences of basically her going into this other person's body. But what really makes this anime stand out and what makes it interesting is how the main character, Mine, how basically she's bringing these inventions that are back from Japan, back from the regular Earth and all that, into this new world. And you're seeing the cause and effect of it, because one thing is she's obsessed with books and she wants to read. And in the world she's at right now is basically like if you compare it to like our world, it's like Middle Ages, somewhere around in there, like before books were mainstream. And like she's trying to bring books into like this world that's basically books are only bought by nobles and stuff like that. So as right now there's a cause and effect to it, and you see that yeah, she's bringing all these different things in, but there's so many like also like there's pros and cons to it, and trust me, there's a lot of cons to it. But this anime does start off very slow. Season 1 is slow, but then you will slowly realize that it's a really unique and interesting anime, especially what's happening in Season 3 right now, because Season 3 puts this on the map and you're just like, what's happening? Because like it's setting up so many different things for the future, because like that's why I said it's way more unique than other isekais, because most isekais, you know what they're doing. It's they're fighting demon lords, or they're very OP, super OP, stuff like that, where it still wraps around them kind of like saving the world or something like that. Where in this one, it's just like a slice of life one, but there's also like other obstacles that are in place, because one is she actually has like this thing called the devouring or something like that, where basically she has like super high MP and super high like magic and all that. But if she doesn't get that taken care of, she can die. And like her body's super weak, so like she always gets sick a lot. So there's that too. So like she can't walk around, so she does have her problems, but she also knows how to make money and stuff like that. So we're seeing some of the stuff you don't see in isekai like that, because most isekai, they're just going on adventures and shit like that, where in this one she's straight up trying to make money. This does remind me of like the one Grace by God, where eventually in that one he makes his own laundromat. That's what this one kind of will remind you of. But this one is like goes more into detail, because like we get to see like how she's making money and how she's setting stuff up and how she's bringing stuff that she remembered from her world into this world. And we see like some of the effects, like I was saying, because I'll spoil real quick, but in Season 3 right now, they're setting up that she's going to get kidnapped, and she's eventually going to have to leave the family that she lives with. And like there is some interesting things, because the main character, the one thing I find interesting is like how attached she is to this family that she's living with, even though like it's quote unquote not her family, because she went into a different girl's body. Just saying, she actually did go into somebody else's body. So it's just like it's interesting that she's has this type of relationship with them. I'm pretty sure it's because like in her real, like the world she, like the person she used to be, I'm pretty sure she wasn't really that connected to her family and all that, mainly because she was reading books and all that and not caring about nobody, so she didn't have that connection. Where in this where she got that connection, so this is why she's kind of scared to like go somewhere else and leave, even though technically she should have thought about it. It's like, dog, you're coming up with all these inventions, you should know that stuff is going to happen. And I do like the setup it's going, because I think eventually she is, by the end, maybe by the end of this season, she's going to get adopted by the noble, especially because in the most recent episode she got kidnapped. So she'll probably get adopted by the noble, and I know they're setting up that she's going to go to this magic school, and that's probably where this is going to open up into like a regular isekai-ish. Not like her fighting demon lords, but it's going to open up a little bit, because she'll be learning magic and stuff like that. Because that's what happens in most isekai. They learn magic, go to a magic school, stuff like that, and eventually do fights and stuff like that. I just like the way this sets it up, because it's interesting. I just like the setup, because it's amazing setup that we don't see. I know people talk about mushoku tensei and they say like you're watching a little kid grow and all that, where actually in my opinion this one sets it up better, because we're seeing her basically set it up, and it's super at a slow pace at times, especially in Season 1 it's a slow pace, but we're seeing her work her way up to like finally being in the church she's at, and finally being able to read books, to her finally making books, and her making money, being connected to the one merchant that she's connected to. So we're seeing all these little details, because in most isekai, sometimes you see them like bring their own stuff that they bring back from Japan. You see them like implement it into certain worlds, but most of them we don't really see it, or we do see it something like konosuba, where there's already stuff like that because there are already people that are reincarnated. Where in this world right now, in Ascendance of a Bookworm, there's nobody else right now we can tell if they got reincarnated or not, because she's the only one we know as of right now, unless something else happens. But it's been amazing, and I think like it is one of the best. I think it's up there. I think it's at least, it's either top 10, top 5 type of material because of what happens in this isekai and some of the different problems. And in my opinion, as of season 3 right now, season 3 has been phenomenal. And if you're not watching this, you need to watch it. But like I said, it's been a really good anime. And like I said, I just like how basically we're at this point where it's like she's basically known by all these nobles, and she's basically a peasant. And yes, she is working in the church as a blue robe, so like she kind of has upper class ish type of, you know, like role, because she's quote unquote a peasant, but she can work in the upper class blue robes of the church only because she makes that money and she can pay her own way. So they have to respect her, but they kind of don't respect her, especially like the super head person of the church, like the super, I think it's like the head priest or the grand priest or whatever they're called there. And like he doesn't really like her because like he's mad about her. But even though there are a few moments where she does get mad at him, and she does have a problem where she gets hella mad and you see like her power break out, but then she gets humbled again because as soon as she uses her power too much, she gets sick. It is going to be interesting to see what happens in the future. I heard there's a lot of stuff that happens in the light novels, because I think this series is going to be crazy when she gets older, because like I said, this season right now is setting up stuff of like when she's going to be older and what could happen. And I'm curious to see like what's going to happen, because as of right now, like I said, it's been phenomenal, and I can only imagine like when she gets older, and especially when she goes to that magic school in the capital, like what all could happen. Because I think she's gonna like bring a whole bunch of stuff like from Japan into this world, like some of the ideas and stuff, and I think she's gonna change this world. She's gonna be like that one revolutionary type of person that changes this world, and she's gonna implement a lot of different stuff. That's what it seems like is gonna happen. Or she's gonna eventually, you know, somebody's going to kidnap her maybe again or something, or she's going to get married off to another noble, because I mean she's technically going to get adopted. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen soon, probably at the end of this season, it seems like it. But this is arguably, like I said, it's been a really special isekai. It's been very interesting. Like I said, it's been, in my opinion, it's more interesting than a lot of isekai because it's something different. Like, that's the one thing that makes all the good isekai stand out. It's something different than the others that gives you something. And, like, some of the characters, of course, and the plot. And like I said, this is way totally different than, you know, the basic isekai that we get. You know, like, the basic isekai we get every season. We get a lot of them, like, where it has some type of fight. And this one is just straight up a slice of life, but it does have, like, other elements to it. It has more, like, realistic elements. And it's way more realistic than a lot of other isekai, because that is something that happens, you know. When you know, like what happens when it comes to rich people, if somebody poor is coming around basically taking money from them, yes, there's going to be like problems, and this anime is showing that. Or when you introduce something new and you get like a backlash from other people because like they don't like the way you're doing it, especially if you come up with an idea that's like way faster and way more efficient. Yes, you're going to have all the people that are making something before be upset with you and look for you and try to take you and take your ideas. So yeah, that's what I like about this, and it's been like interesting. If you're watching Ascendance of a Bookworm, let me know how you feel about it. If you've seen the first 2 seasons, watch season 3. If you're watching season 3 right now, let me know how you feel about it, because like I said, it's been arguably a really good isekai. And like I said, I think it's top 10, top 5. I think this, at the end of the day, whenever this finishes, depending on how many seasons this gets, I think this could arguably be top 5, because there's so many things that are happening. And like I said, it sets it up at a very slow pace compared to other isekai. We're actually get to see her grow as a character. And basically, we even get to see the world and see some of the stuff that happens in this world with her introducing like this easy way and easy form to get books. And we do get to see like some of the good things that she does, especially like when it comes to the church. Because trust me, she helps that church out a lot, because there is the orphanage there that was basically horrible and ran horribly because like there are a whole bunch of orphans and the church didn't care. Because you also get to see, the church is very corrupt. Especially the noble people in the church, they're very corrupt. And even the nobles are corrupt. And this world is just like interesting seeing all that, because it just makes you just realize like, yeah, this is not that, it's not that good of a world unless you're a noble, and you really see that. And like, yeah, it's interesting. But I still do think it's very wild that she got reincarnated into somebody else's body. Like, that shit is wild, because that shit, you know why it's wild? It's because the person's body she went into, like, we know she basically died, like, right then and there. And if the one girl didn't die, then she would have just been dead. Like, it's interesting. That's the one thing I always find interesting, is just like how she just reincarnated in somebody else's body, because that person died at that moment, that at the moment she was getting brought back to life. And it's just like wild to think that, because like even the family, they notice at first, they're like, oh, you're acting different type of thing. And then like, it's interesting seeing that. But yeah, if you're not watching The Ascendance of a Bookworm, watch it. If you've not seen it, please watch it, because like I said, it's phenomenal isekai. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best isekai, and it's very interesting and unique, and it's a very underrated isekai in my opinion. It's an isekai that more people need to watch, because like I said, if you're looking for something different and actually good, that's that stands out in the isekai genre, Ascendance of a Bookworm is that. And you need to watch it because, like I said, it stands out above and beyond of a lot of isekai. Like I said, I think it's top 10, potential to be top 5 when it finally finishes, depending on where it goes. Because, like I said, this has like a ceiling, like it's a skyrocket, bro. This, like, its ceiling is like super high of like where this could go because, like I said, the stuff it's setting up in these first 3 seasons and like how they're sprinkling stuff in season 3 that could be for the future that makes you just think like, whoa, where could this go? And I just like the pacing. It has very amazing pacing because like it's slow, but it's not super slow, and it's just setting up these little things and it sprinkles in different stuff that makes you think like, oh, where could this go? But yeah, please watch it if you're not watching. If you are watching, let me know how you feel in the comments. If you're new, why not subscribe? If you enjoyed the video, why not subscribe? If you enjoyed, why not like? If you didn't, you could dislike. Subscribe if you really enjoyed. But yeah, please watch Ascendance of a Bookworm because it's a fantastic isekai, and I think it's one of the best ones that is out here. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye!